Hey guys, what's up? This is going to be the third installment of the Legion Training Department Guides. It's going to go a little bit over holding banana. Just to forward my mouse, or the way my mic is positioned, you're going to hear my mouse and my keyboard a bit. I have a mechanical keyboard, so it's louder than usual also. I'm sorry. I'll try to not touch it as much, but I hope you guys can still hear me pretty good. Okay, general thoughts about banana. It's usually good to have two players here. Generally, you are going to have two players here. That's how most people play it, because if you play one person here, it's pretty easy to take from the T side. Yeah, so that's about it. The main thing in banana is if you have one person, this is just if you do have one person here, if it's an op, a really good thing to do is play aggressive, like way up here, or really passive, like in spawn. If you have a rifle, you kind of want to play the same way, although I wouldn't suggest pushing the car as much. You want to play really aggressive or really passive, because if you only have one person at banana, then you're not going to hold it just playing like inside. You might get a trade kill, which at best, which is not good. You're not going to hold it. So I suggest if you have a rifle and you're soloing banana because your teammate rotated off or got picked or whatever, just to play like gay in construction, because a lot of times you'll just get free kills from a terrorist running construction. Yeah, that's just the general. One person, play either extremely passive or extremely aggressive. Of course, you don't have to do everything I say, but it's just a key to success. Okay, next thing, just a few general setups for banana. Sorry, I keep moving around and I was making a lot of noise on my keyboard. The setup that I like the most when I play banana, this is my site, and the setup I like the most, that has had the most success, is playing one spawn area and one site area. They can play wherever, it doesn't really matter. But the key to this setup is playing counter flash, and the reason for that is a lot of setups are playing counter flash, and the reason for that is because when terrorists work banana, they generally don't just like walk up the entire way into site. That's not how most people play. They mostly, if they're going to take banana, they might walk up a little ways to see if they can get a pick like spools or something, but otherwise they're going to have some kind of flashes, and they're going to be flashing site or CT or wherever. And that's like a key. They might be faking when you do that. You have to realize that if you're playing inside, that they might be faking. But that's like a key to how you want to play banana. If you notice they are walking up, don't play counter flash as much. But if you notice that they flash over every time before they take it, then you can just sit with your flash out pretty much. It's really easy to hold. Another just general thought before we get into the counter flashes, you might not want to waste both of them, or if you waste both of them, make sure you tell your teammate to keep at least one, because if they fake it with flashes, which is really easy to do, if you waste all your nades and there's nobody here, you're pretty much screwed if they decide to retake it. Okay, setup. One spawn, one near site. I play the spawn guy, and what I like to do is a lot. Most teams, when they flash, they'll flash site, and if they flash spawn, they'll flash it way towards, like, it'll land somewhere around here, like if you're playing right here. So what I like to do is, I sit here with my gun out, by the way, because if they do creep up, you're kind of screwed. But a really good thing to do is, if you're flashing in, you won't get that blind right here. So you can just throw a flash like this and peek out with it. Or if you are blind, you can just kind of fall back and just throw a flash off the wall somewhere. Just try to delay them to getting inside as much as possible. That's the real key. Another key is this little pot lid, whatever. It's right here at the beginning, and a lot of times if they're rushing in, you can just listen for that, and when you know they're there, that means you can either peek just right up because you know they're running over that, or you can just flash and just get them blind. Another thing about flashes at banana, it's best to throw them so they don't really see them coming. So like throwing it right here, they're gonna have a long time to turn away. But if you want to throw it a little bit that was bad. I didn't know it bounced off that rock. But if you throw it a little bit shorter, it's probably the best way to do it. You just kind of have to experiment with it. So if you're throwing it off this wall, you might want to throw it a little bit this way, so it has a longer hang time, and it'll just land right here and it'll come out of nowhere and blind them. So you're just gonna have to practice those. But this setup, you can just peek from CT right here, and the guy in sight, all he's really doing is just kind of supporting you. Because you have the good counter flashes, he can flash too. Another good flash place for sight is right here. You can kind of throw it off this, and I'll throw an HE grenade so you can see where it lands. And it just kind of lands out of nowhere. So if they're running checking out banana, they're not going to see that coming. That's a really good counter flash to play. You can just sit here with your flash out, and you're going to have to practice the exact spot. One thing to note, you can't throw it over like that. There's a little gap in here and it'll throw through the wood, which is kind of weird. But yeah, that's a really good setup to do, holding banana with 2 people. Also, again, this is a good setup also. This is a good setup also. I feel like such a nerd. Is a guy's sight somewhere right here, maybe, or spools. If you play spools, especially with an op, I think it's generally best to just like kind of take random peeks, because they can jump peek you and get like interp on you, and it's kind of hard to survive this spot just like playing peeked out. So taking random peeks is good. You can play like a guy spools and a guy right here, because when they come up, they're gonna say, "Hey, there's a guy spools." They're not gonna think to check right here. They might not even check there anyway. But good teams always gonna check right there. But you never know, they might get lazy. That's a really good setup if you have guy spools, even if he just has a pistol and you're on an eco round. The guy with the deagle play in that spot, and the guy spools just take and not peek so they see him and he can just fall back. Now some other eco ideas. If you have 2 guys with the deagles, or it doesn't matter what guns you have, but if you have a guy hide in the back right here, I like this spot more than here because it's kind of hard to get headshots. But if you hide one person right here, and then you have another person stacked, like playing this angle, and then when the T's come in, they're gonna say, "Oh, there's a guy in the back of sight," and the first guy or the second guy peeking this angle needs to die. Like he can't run away. He needs to die. But they're gonna think, "Oh, there's a guy right there." And they kill you, and they're not gonna think anything else about the back of sight. They're gonna think they killed the guy that was right there, and they're not gonna think there's another person. Teams don't really generally smoke this. So, if you have an op, a pretty good place to play, although it's kind of known, just your secondary banana player, just play right here. And it's pretty easy to get kills, especially if they're flash taking it, just them running into sight. You can get creative with your flashes too, like you can flash off this, and you can also, I'm not sure how to do this, but you can flash through construction, and that's pretty good. Nobody sees that coming. Like they're coming in, they're not gonna expect to flash through that window at all. Yeah. So if you want to, this is a good aggressive strat. If you don't want to play like that, this is good if they're kind of at the end of banana, and I don't know, you think you can go gun to gun with them, but from spawn, you come right here and you throw a smoke, and you see these 2 tree limbs. You want to throw it between them, right about here. I don't know any other way to line it up, so yeah, just throw it like that. And you can push down, and you can flash over. That's probably the best flash. Some people like to flash off this wall. Oops. Some people like to flash off that wall, but I think it's best to just come down and you can flash over. But anyway, this is a one-way smoke. You can pretty much sit in this and see them, and they really can't see you much at all. It's really easy to get some gay kills right there. Another one-way smoke is right here, just in the general car area. It's all one way. Another thing about holding side is make sure if you're not like throwing a one-way, to keep both of you have smokes, and call a smoke time. Like if it's getting mid-round and you notice your team calls out they're faking at the other side, just go ahead and throw your smokes down, because that's going to stop them from flashing over. Because if they flash over and they try to run through you and your teammates double smoke, they're screwed. So that's going to delay them like 20 seconds or so. And that's just a really good thing to do. It'll throw their timing off and stuff.